a great weekend. Today I had a great session at a lake near Tarifa, and to give you guys a little bit of context, about 1 month ago I made a video of what speeds are realistically achievable on big slalom gear, and today I actually broke my own personal best on the big board, which is my 140 liter Fanatic Falcon. And I really love this board. It's probably one of my most used sizes of slalom boards, because as I live near a lake, we have a lot of light wind, so the big slalom board is my most used one. And I've heard a lot of talk of people saying these really big slalom boards will become obsolete with foil and that they don't really enjoy using these boards. But I have to say, besides being one of my most used boards, this is also probably one of my favorite boards, because you can get so much lift on the board and it rides really freely, especially compared to earlier years. In the last video you saw me testing an older Fanatic Falcon board, which was around 15 years old, and these ones today get a lot more lift, and I've actually been faster on this board, the 140 liter, which is 85 centimeters wide, than I was the other day, yesterday, on the 91 Falcon, which is 60 centimeters wide, but it is a lot older. And I think the main reason for that is, one guy actually commented that on my video, is that the boards nowadays can rail a lot easier over the fin, which they didn't used to do back in the day. So today you can take smaller fins, get the board railing, and you really have only the fin touching the water, which you will see in this video. So the context is, we've had about 2 weeks of Levante now, and I've had some pretty sick sessions here in Tarifa, but it's always been difficult, a lot of waves, and the angle hasn't been good for speed surfing. So it has been, instead of square, it has been really, really broad. So you have some waves rolling in, some swell, and then on top of that you have the wind swell, which is coming from the top of the beach. So really not easy conditions. So I was just looking for something different again. Yesterday I went to Cadiz, today I explored a spot at a lake, which was super fun. So I'll stop talking and we get into the video. So we cannot get to the lake because there's this Vacana resort and you cannot pass there, there's some gates. So we tried the other way around the lake, and here, yeah, it looks like that. And we don't want to go any further because we don't know if we can turn around. So we tried the Vacana again, if we can get somewhere closer to the lake and go out there. There's some eagles. This is the closest to the lake we could get, so now I have to carry the gear here, and I rigged the big board with a 7.7, just because with the big board I get out of this bay over there, because in the bay there is not much wind, but on the lake it actually looks super good. And it's kind of funny, I drive 3,000 kilometers to Tarifa just to go, when it's really windy, to go at a lake that's pretty similar to my home spot. But yeah, I'm looking forward to some flat water slalom windsurfing today without waves for once, before I get back into the Tarifa waves. And yeah, I just like to go around and explore new spots, because this lake looks pretty good for doing some slalom runs and some speed runs. So let's see how it is on the water. I'm going to take the GoPro and my dad is going to film, and always wear the mask here, even if there's only cows around. And yeah, see you on the water. Okay, the wind was way stronger than I thought. I looked in the regular forecast, which called for 12 knots, and the super forecast said 18, so I rigged 7.7 and I couldn't hold the sail anymore and I got blown away. I don't know where I am right now. I think I'm somewhere in America because there are like tipis in the background, so I don't know where the wind blew me, but I should take 7.0 now and the medium board. That would be much faster. But the speeds were actually not that bad. I was faster than yesterday in Cadiz, even though it's way choppier here, and I was faster on the big gear. I got 34.6 knots today, and yeah, I really can't hold down the board anymore. I need to do something. Maybe I take a smaller fin or I rig down, which I really don't want to do because I have to walk all the way up there again to change my gear. So maybe I just stick with the 7.7. But beautiful spot. It's almost like home at the Möhnesee, only it's faster here. Okay, since I'm too lazy to rig something else, I now gave +1 centimeter downhole. So the recommendation is 488, so now I gave 489 because it says ±1, and for these conditions +1 is better. And I put away some of the, I don't know how you call it, the spacer tension on the lowest batten and put a little bit more in the second, because the lowest one was always not coming around in the jibe, so I hope now that it's better. And I also made the boom 2 centimeters longer because I want a little bit less profile, because that gives me less power and less lift, because the problem was that I had too much lift. I couldn't keep the board down in the big gusts. So I hope with this different trim and the smaller fin, now I can actually keep the board down. But yeah, let's see. I'm heading back out now. Let's recap the session, and I've actually just looked into my GPS speed surfing account. I basically post all of my windsurf sessions there, whether they are bad or good, just because I have a track record really of my sessions. And I looked at how many sessions I did at my home spot, the Möhnesee, and I actually did 247 sessions already at the Möhnesee, but not once have I been this fast as I've been today on this board. And I did 33.5 knots average and close to 36 knots, I think 35.84 knots on the max speed today on this board, which is a personal best for me. And this is super exciting because I improved by almost 0.4 knots from 35.45 knots to 35.85 knots. So a big improvement for me today. And I think the main reason why I got this improvement is because I actually tried a lot of settings today and played with the trim. And as you saw in the middle of the video, I changed some settings, and after that every single run was 1 knot faster on the max and on the 10-second than before I changed the trim, which is really cool. So what I did was, because the wind was super strong for the 7.7, I actually put 2 or 3 clicks more of downhaul on the sail. So the sail is given with a specific range. I don't remember the exact centimeter settings, but I gave it +1 centimeters from the recommendation in the end, which is a lot really. but it worked really nice for speed and especially for going downwind. And going speeding, I think you need a little bit more downhaul than the recommendation a lot of times on these sails. And then the next thing which really made a big difference is I changed from the 46 centimeter fin down to a 43 centimeter fin, which was also a little bit stiffer than the 46. And I think this gave me a lot more control on the run because, to be honest, the 46 centimeter fin gave too much lift and the board was just flying off too much, and the 43 gave just the right amount of lift. And then what I also did, as I had way too much power in the sail, I put a little bit more tension on the outhaul of the boom, so the sail isn't as deep profiled but a little bit flatter, which if you get out of control you can do to just give the sail a little bit less power and make it a little bit more controllable. And then also, which is super nice on these new duotone sails, you don't need spacers anymore. You can just use a Torx and tension or loosen where the spaces used to be, so it's really a new camber system which you can widen or shorten and therefore put pressure on or off the batten. And I played around a little bit with that and I think it made a difference, but honestly I changed too much at once to really tell if that made the difference or just the added downhaul, because really you should only just change one thing and leave all the others the same to really tell the difference, because if you change 3 things at once you cannot really tell is it the first, the second or the third or all of the things which made the difference. Alright, now close to 36 knots on this baby and I'm really falling in love more and more with this board. And yeah, let's see where this is going. I think I can push even a little bit more. Maybe I take this board to a flat water spot and not a lake where there's chop. And I think I can get 37 or 38 knots, but I think 40 for the moment is out of the question with this board. For me it's just too much 4 knots. And I think I need to be a lot heavier or taller to achieve that. Maybe if I use a weight vest and go to an actual speed spot, it might be possible for me, but really what is the point in doing that if I can just use a smaller setup and go faster just to get the board over 40? I don't really see the point in that. But I think I also found a pretty good slalom trim for the board now. My jibes are going a lot more smoothly and I think I'm ready for the slalom season, and I really cannot wait after 2 or 3 years of the tour to get back into slalom racing, because it's such an adrenaline rush, and that's what I really love about windsurfing. You have so many different disciplines and they're all fun, so I'm really looking forward to get back into the slalom. But now that's it for today. The next video is going to be back in Tarifa, actually also with Levante, but it has been a pretty sick session and for once decent speed conditions. So if you want to see that, you know what to do, and I'll see you there. Cheers guys!